So the fourth dimension is a way for you to project your higher consciousness into a lower dimensional life. So it's a projection down. But the fourth dimension is also a platform to rise up. This is where it gets interesting. If you've ever seen, I'm sure you have, these videos about near-death experiences, people who died for 2 minutes or 7 minutes or 11 minutes or even 20 minutes, they died and then they came back to life and they share their experiences. I've actually interviewed one person who had a near-death experience, and he promised that I promised I would never share it with anybody, would certainly not share his name. He didn't want to share it with anybody because he had committed suicide, and he didn't want anybody to know. But he had the exact same experience as everybody else. You rise up from your body, you look down on your body. It's still you. You still recognize who you are. You recognize all these people in 3 dimensions. And then what happens? Eventually, you get sucked up into a tunnel. And then all of a sudden at the end of the tunnel, oh my gosh, that's the fourth dimension. Oh my gosh, it's unlimited. It's everything. The light is bright, colors I've never seen before, sounds I've never heard before, people I've met in the past. Unbelievable. It's now an entirely different experience. The fourth dimension, and then they can go to higher dimensions. Then they meet source and light and all kinds of things. And people have gone like far up and then still come back down into their body. You don't have to wait until you die to experience that higher light. That light is a part of you. It's part of your everyday experience. It's not separate from you. It's not later. It's now. It's any moment you can be experiencing the fourth dimension. That sun that you see above the clouds, that's the fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is light. And in the fourth dimension, you get the full radiance of light. You get the full power of source, not just a little bit of source. You're all of it, man. You get the whole thing is coursing through your body, coursing through your being, the light, the energy, source. It's all yours. There's no limitations in the fourth dimension. And you're getting the full radiance of source from the fifth dimension. It's a beautiful experience. So the fourth dimension is a way for you to choose your values, develop a longer term outlook in life, be very patient, and plan and start paying it forward for yourself so that your life in the third dimension is happier, better, healthier. The other aspect of the fourth dimension is just to sit, and let's just sit for a minute. And I want you to feel not just the sun. The sun is it's all light. It's the light of source that's coming through you. So I want you to feel that. I want you to feel how it feels to have all possibilities through your body. I want you to feel the radiance. I want you to feel the full power that you have. That's what you experience. So every time you take a minute and decide you want to experience in fourth dimension, that's what you'll experience. It's that, wow, this feels really good. It's the same thing in the near-death experiences. They go through that tunnel and they go, oh, wow, this is incredible. Wow. You have no time. You don't have a limitation of time. You don't have the limitation of mind. All the 3D things. You look back at 3D and say, what was I thinking? That's nothing down there. This is where I have the power. You have all the power in the world in the fourth dimension. People like us, spiritually seeking people, we tend to not gather power. We tend to not work hard to become powerful. So we sit in the background a little bit. And the people who do work hard to get power tend to not have the highest moral values and principles. They're more self-centered. They're not going to use that power for unity consciousness. The people that would use the power for unity consciousness don't have the power because we don't seek it. However, the fourth dimension is like in checkers, it's a double jump. You can jump right over that because you actually have all the power. But remember, it's the power to change yourself. And once you can change one small thing about yourself, you start to realize, wait a minute, if I change that, if I created a new habit out of the blue or got rid of an old habit and replaced it with a more, I can do anything. I can change any aspect of my life, and that's true. You have all the power in the world. So it's a projection down into 3D, and it's also an absorption of all this 5D energy that's coming down, the light, source energy, power that's coursing through you. That's the full experience of the fourth dimension. As this source radiates to you and through you in the fourth dimension, where you are source and source is all sources flowing through you, if you don't focus that source, it's just a blissful feeling. The tool that we're going to do in the workshop in the second half is like you ever take like a magnifying glass, you have the power of the sun and then it focuses it and burns one little spot, takes all the power of the sun and focuses it. This tool that I'm going to share with you is a fourth dimensional tool, and as soon as you draw it, it immediately takes all the power of source and drives it right through your plan. Again, as long as your plan is about you fixing your own self, you can fix, change, modify anything about yourself without limit through the power of source. And one of the things that we can do with ourselves is we can rise ourselves to the fifth dimension. So let me share the fifth dimension if you're ready for that. The fifth dimension is a dimension of light. It has, whereas the fourth dimension has a lot to do with the third dimension. You can project down into you can see the third dimension, be aware of the third dimension, and project down into it and modify what's going on in the third dimension. The fifth dimension has nothing whatsoever to do with physical reality. It is a dimension of light. And the path to the fifth dimension is not just a mental shift, it is a mental shift. You've got to bring your body along for the ride. It's a physical shift. You have to learn how to raise your physical vibration, clear space, all the negative emotions, all the negative sources of energy, all the stuff you're carrying, clear all of that out. And as you clear out and as you raise your physical vibration, it opens you up to holding more light in your body. In the fifth dimension, you are holding more light in your body. And it's not like you flip a switch. I have a little bit of light, I have a ton of light. It's a process. Days, weeks, months, years. You're physically conditioning your body over a period of time with new health habits, new energy flowing techniques, new cellular energizing techniques, all kinds of things you're doing to raise the vibration of your body. And over time, you begin to be able to hold more light in your own body, in your vehicle. And as that amount of light increases, your experience of fifth dimension increases. So it's a dimension of light that has nothing whatsoever to do with the third dimension. So I'm going to give you 3 keys to experiencing more 5D. The first key, or the first step to fifth dimensional awareness, is balance. If you're not balanced, if you're running around like a crazy person, very high stress, upset about things, emotional, all that stuff, if your life is out of balance, there's no 5D experience. It just doesn't work that way. You can experience 4D, you can be totally out of balance and experience 4D, and then use the power of 4D to try to bring your life back into balance. That's one way to do it. But as soon as you start the path to balance, doesn't matter where you are on the journey, as soon as you begin to intentionally try to bring balance to more and more areas of your life, that's your journey to 5D. What do I mean? Your life, I don't know if anyone remembers the old Ed Sullivan show. There was a guy who would spin plates and he'd go to the next one. He'd spin 2 plates, 3 plates. He'd spin the 4th one, but then the first one would start to wobble. So he'd have to come back and spin it, keep them all going. Then he'd do a 5th, a 6th. He had like 10, 12 plates. He was able to keep spinning at one time. Your life is exactly like that. You have your family, you have your work, you have your health, you have your cooking, your shot. You got to keep all of these parts of your life, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts of your life balanced, but they're not balanced. They're all over the place. They're wobbling. Some of them have crashed. You may have had relationships that just crashed and fell on the floor. Your health may have crashed because you couldn't keep it balanced. So the goal of life is to keep all of these aspects in balance. Use the fourth dimensional tool, the abundance blueprint that we're going to work on today. Use that to turn around, make your 3-dimensional life more balanced. That's how you start ascending. You got to get yourself in balance. You have to breathe. Deep breathing. Find balance. That's your journey to 5D. That's how you'll get more and more experience in 5D. The second element of the fifth dimension, or the journey to the fifth dimension, is being heart-centered. Not mind-centered, which I am, and most people are. For me, this is the most difficult. Balance is not easy either. You know, that's a challenge. Then being heart-centered, that's another challenge for me personally, because I'm very mind-centered. I like explaining things. I like convincing people and fixing things and making sure everything's like I go through these things in my head 24 hours a day. Thank goodness I'm alone, because the people would commit me. They think I'm crazy. Like I'm very head-centered and mind-centered. Mind centered is great for organizing things in the third and fourth dimension, but it's not going to give you a 5D experience. You've got to learn to transition. Again, it's not like flipping a switch. You're here and here. You don't just snap your fingers. It's every day, every week, every month, every year. You're becoming more and more heart centered. Now, a lot of people already exhibit this particular attribute of 5D. They already are heart centered, but they don't have the framework of the fourth dimension and the full framework or understanding of the fifth dimension. They're experiencing it, but they're not using it to launch themselves to higher experiences. So the first one is balance. The second one is heart centered. Let me just speak for two more sentences on heart centered. Heart centered means just stop talking, be receptive, be accepting, let the energy flow, let the universe flow as it must. Stop trying to fix everything, stop trying to make sense of every last little thing, stop talking to yourself, and just be in the moment and just let the energy flow and recognize your full connection to everything else in the universe. You are, and if you're interested, I can explain even more about that, but you are actually connected to everything in the universe, and that's what being heart-centered. Again, no balance in your life, no 5D for you. No, if you're totally mind-centered, you can like intellectually think about 5D, but you won't actually get the experience because you gotta be quiet, shut up. I hate to use that word. I told my kids never to say that. S up and just let the universe flow. Just be part of the flow. Just be heart centered. And the third element of 5D experience is unity consciousness. And this is the one thing that most people don't truly understand. Even if you understand it intellectually, you still have to learn how to surrender to unity consciousness. Unity consciousness doesn't mean we all agree all the time. Doesn't mean we all think the same things. Doesn't mean sometimes we, get mad at each other. It's okay. That's not what unity consciousness is about. It's not uniformity of thinking. It's unity consciousness is simply agreeing that we are all on the same goal, is to ascend humanity to a fifth dimension. The fifth dimension is a collective experience. It isn't an individual experience. It's a collective experience. Well, yes, it is an individual experience because you have to do the work. Nobody can do it for you. You have to be walking towards the path of fifth dimensional ascension. But if you're doing it as an isolated person, you're just going to get dragged back down into third dimension because the 3D pulls us like a magnet. It pulls us down. So as we ascend, it wants to pull us down back into the 3D reality. The collective or unity consciousness is a group of people who are linking arms, holding on to each other, adding their collective light like a web of light. And this is important because as people are individually ascending, the web of light, this collective consciousness, draws people up so that there's something to do in the fifth dimension. There's something to experience. There's people to be with. There's a mission, a task in the fourth dimension. If you have no other people, if you have no task, if you have no, like you get up there and you say, oh, I'm all by myself, you'll just go right back down. So it is about unity consciousness, balance, heart-centered, surrendering to unity consciousness. And again, fifth dimension isn't a switch like now I'm fourth, now I'm fifth. Doesn't work that way. It's a series of experiences, a gradual unfolding, a gradual releasing of negativity, and a gradual acquisition or holding on to more light, a little bit every day, clearing your energy space, clearing your emotional space, allowing more and more of this light to come into your body. Eventually, in the fifth dimension, you are truly a being of light. You are a being of light, but you've got this much light in you. As you ascend the fifth dimension, again, over time, and you work towards it, that amount of light increases, 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 increases until, wow, now you actually start to feel it. You can start to feel how there's more light anchored, and it anchors in your crystal system through your chakras, through your central channel in your spine. That's where the light anchors, and then it radiates through all your energy centers, and you become more and more light, if that makes sense. Probably 1,000 people will try to ascend to the fifth dimension, maybe 10, 20, 30. My goal is to teach it in such a way and create a community experience in such a way that if 1,000 people try, we can get a few hundred up there, not just a few dozen. I want to get a few hundred people up there because it's not difficult. It's just different. It's challenging. It's a different path. It's not like you want it and you can get it. It doesn't work like that. You have to modify and transform your own cellular structure, so to speak. Your own, they call them light codes. You have to modify your own physical being so you can anchor more light. And the only way you'll do that is by eliminating all of the stress, the tension. You've got to clear all that space out.